Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel and welcome to 7 Days to Die Alpha 18 Experimental. So there's been a lot of things going on with 7 Days to Die. For those of you who are console players, you have to know the Fun Pimps have reacquired 7 Days to Die. Now obviously this is mainly a PC kind of look and a bit of an explanation on how to get Alpha 18 Experimental, as some people haven't switched over yet. They're still on 17.4. However, just a quick notification on the console. As of yesterday, they won the rights back to the game through a auction. Obviously, Telltale Games went south, and obviously they didn't have the rights to publish the game. Now, what they have said is they don't expect to have an update for the console anytime soon, because primarily they are obviously a PC publisher, and obviously the console has a lot of issues when it comes to updating ports. So right now, unfortunately, console players, you're looking at a very long way on any kind of update, but hopefully we will see something along the lines. I started on 7 Days to Die console, so it'd be a shame to see it go down the pan, and I know there are still a lot of players who do play it. However, let's get back onto Alpha 18 Experimental on the PC, and let's first of all see how we can actually switch over from 17.4, which most of you will be on if you haven't already switched over, to the Alpha 18 Experimental. Okay, so the first thing you want to be doing is heading to your Steam file where your game is at. Obviously, I've already switched over, and you can tell that because it says latest experimental at the end of the name. Just there. However, if yours doesn't say that, then you are probably still on the previous version. So you right click that, head to your properties. It will come up with a window like this. And you want to head over to the betas. You want to drop down here, and it'll say latest experimental unstable build. Now it is still unstable, so there are still problems, there's still updates and stuff like that coming through. There's hot fixes all the time, but this is a massive update for 7 Days to Die, and it's got some fantastic content. So if you aren't already playing it, I suggest you do. So once you've hit that, then you can go ahead and play. Now if you get any pop-up or anything like that that says, you know, are you sure, or do you need a key or anything like that, just close them all down and it'll work through. It's open to everybody, so there's no keys required or anything like that. I do believe the keys were for those who were streaming it when they released it, as you can see at the Alpha 18 streamer weekend. However, it's now open to everybody, so let's get straight into it. Welcome everybody to the Bearded Baldies 7 Days to Die server in collaboration with USMC Sky and Team Skydew. If you'd like to find out how to join us, then leave me a comment in the comment section and I will get it over to you, and hopefully you'll be able to join us on some of the games. Now, there is so much that has changed from Alpha 17 in Alpha 18 that I really couldn't go through it all with you in one episode, because you'd just basically be sat here listening to me talking for about 3 hours. However, I do want to go through a few things that they have changed that really have made a massive difference to the game and is worthwhile playing for. So the first thing, and I'm going to start off with the best thing I think, is they've added new weapons. Yes, they've added some amazing weapons. The first one is the double-barreled shotgun. Excellent piece of kit when you're in close range, but my personal favourite is the M60. They have now added a machine gun in, and this thing is awesome. They've also got the reloading down to a T. It's fantastic, and this thing packs an absolute punch. And hopefully we'll find some zombies to take out. Now, on top of new weapons and stuff like that, they've overhauled a lot of stuff. The XP system's completely changed now. So when you die, you don't have a debuff, you lose a bit of XP, and you kind of have to pay it back. And they've also increased POIs as well. There's a load of different POIs, like this one, per se. This is a Shotgun Messiah factory. It is massive, it is full of a lot of zombies, but it's also full of some fantastic loot. They've also changed things along the lines of the stamina balance, so now you've got more of a pack. You start off with a bigger pack so you don't suffer with your stamina when you're moving around, stuff like that. I am jumping from one thing to another. I will kind of progress now into a bit more of a organised explanation as to what I'm going through here, because there's just so much. There's so much that they've put into the game. But let's talk about some of the important things. I'm also trying to find some zombies to show you just what some of this stuff is all about. But it looks like We may have killed them all. Yeah. I will find some zombies as we're discussing. Anyways, back to the XP balancing. So they've completely balanced it all now. So zombies, there's less XP for the zombies. However, there's more XP for doing other stuff. So it's kind of balanced itself out, which is nice. Obviously, I've mentioned the stamina balance. So things like wearing heavy armor now affects your balance a lot more, your stamina a lot more even. So I'm wearing heavier armor, and I obviously I can't run as much. I lose my stamina a lot quicker. When you're wearing lighter armor, obviously you've got less protection, but you are much faster. There's things like optimization. That's kind of things in the background, things that have improved the performance. And a lot of people were struggling with performance issues when it came to the original Alpha 17. They've fixed a lot of that, which is nice. It does run a lot better. I find it runs a lot better anyway. I don't want to be jumping down there. Yeah, so they've just made massive improvements along there. There's things like so they've now made it where basically it's only spawning in the stuff that you can actually physically see to what you set your view distance at, whereas before it wasn't actually spawning everything in. It was obviously causing issues with CPU performance and stuff like that. So they've solved a lot of that, which is fantastic. I'm really struggling to find zombies. As I said, this is a live server, so I've just walked into a bunch of zombies. Okay, let's. As you can see, they've also improved the zombies now. So a lot of people complaining. It's just fantastic. Look at that. I love it. Now this is a top tier weapon. However, it can be found, it can be dropped, and you can also get a schematic to build it as well. But it's just fantastic. I love it. Absolutely love it. Brilliant weapon put into the game. So yeah, so the zombies now have also been optimized a bit better as well. So now instead of them being very easy to kill, I mean, when I first started off on this server, I'd set it to my original settings that I had for Alpha 17, and I died a lot. I think I died 4 times within about 5 levels because there are still a little bit of issues because they've changed it now with the hitboxes, like where you hit the zombies and where it affects like where you hit them and stuff like that, the range and stuff, which was a little hard to get used to. But now that we've played it for a few days, we've managed to work that out, which is nice. So yeah, so there's things like that have been changed, which is absolutely excellent. I mean, I know a lot of people were complaining that the game was relatively easy when it comes to the zombies because basically they just walk at you at a slow pace. I know you can change it, but there was no challenge for beginner players, or certainly for just a normal difficulty level. Now they've thankfully changed that, so that it's a little bit harder now, which is nice. So yeah, they become enraged as you attack them, and they will start to run at you. So be wary of that if you do play. And they've also put in little places. So obviously this oh, somebody's been messing around here. So what they've done is obviously the POIs have changed quite considerably now. So not only have you got various different POIs like this, you've also got a lot of smaller POIs where there's less zombies and stuff like that. So they've really thought about pretty much anybody who wants to play it now. So it's a lot easier for new players, it's a lot easier for old school players because you kind of know what you're getting into. There's a lot of these different POIs, points of interest. There's a library as well, which if you find one of them is brilliant because now they've changed the perk system. So I'm not going to go into too much detail with the perk system because there's a lot of changes on this, and realistically you need to have a look at it yourself and get a feel for it. But the one thing I do want to point out is perk books. So as you're going around, you'll find books, and when you read the books, they will give you perks. And when you unlock them all, you get the bonus perks, should I say. And there's one for each of them. I will touch off that now intellect isn't so much the thing you go for now where you can then build everything, because you can get schematics which unlocks things earlier. So no longer do you have to rely on actually having to build your intellect and then build the bigger things, which is good. So one thing we didn't realise was how to level up when you're crafting items. So obviously originally when you increase your intellect and increase the level of the item you were building, that's no longer the case. Now you actually level up whatever you're leveling in your perks. So if you do minus 69er, you will be able to craft quality 2 poor tools, and same for the next level, craft 3, craft 4, same for that. So that's shotguns, you can have level 2 poor shotguns, etc. And it's all in all of the stats and skills that you've got here, and each one of them is affected by it. I think that's the machine gun one. That actually unlocks the AK-47. That increases it to fur. Good. And then gives you each shot scored with automatic weapons gives you 4 stamina. So there's things like that increases your stamina, which is nice. There's just so many things they've put into the game. I honestly couldn't tell you it all. But what I will tell you is, obviously, along with the zombie and attribute balances they've done a lot of gameplay changes. They've put schematics in, as I've mentioned. There's armor changes, obviously different armor rates and encumbrances come with each one of them. So as I mentioned, we're in lighter armor, less effect, but also less effect on your stamina. There's a death loop issue, which has now been improved, which is great. And they've also tried to improve the melee hit detection. Now, they've put out another update, which I haven't played yet, but I felt like they got it slightly wrong, because the zombies were hitting you when they were nowhere near you. So I don't know if that needs some tweaking or whatnot, but let's hope we do get some along the lines. They've also changed the infection, dysentery, and stun changes. Now, what I did notice is when you cook food now, that gives you 3%, 4%, etc. chance of food poisoning, which massively reduces your stamina if you do get it. Tinned food no longer has any kind of poison whatsoever, which in my eyes should have been like that in the first place, because, you know, if you have a nuclear apocalypse, they always say your tinned food would survive it, unless obviously it gets blown to smithereens. But the food that's in radiation zones is safe to eat. That's what you see in all the films. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but let's hope it is. So that's kind of relatively on point now, which is nice. As I say, loads more stuff that I want to go through with you in various episodes, as we will be checking out this server. We'll be checking out a beginner's guide for those of you who are new to 7 Days to Die or who want to pick up, because I know a lot of people stop playing after 16. But the one thing I will go through with you is to tell you what actual new weapons there are, other than the 2 that I've got on me. So they've got spears in the game now. That's right, there are spears, iron spears, steel spears. I don't know if I've got one. Have I got one? Oh, I do have one in my vast storage, because I've been collecting in here. I shall find you a spear to show you. There you go, steel spear there. They've got junk turrets, which I should have my junk turret in somewhere. There it is, junk turret. So this can be fired as a normal weapon when it doesn't need repairing. Apparently everything I have needs repairing. The good thing about this is it's an early doors turret, which you can also place. You can pick it back up again. It takes 3 scrap iron to make 1 round. Obviously, you can make as many rounds as you've got scrap iron, and scrap iron is obviously quite easy to gather. Quite decent. It's good to protect your back if you're like in a house, you want to pop it down. Brilliant. You've also got the stun baton now. So the more you level it up, the better the stun baton gets, but it's one there. And as you hit the zombies, every so often it will zap them, and they will basically stun lock, and you're free to hit them as much as you like until that wears off. You've got baseball bats in the game, which I don't know why you'd want a baseball bat when you've got a submachine gun, but there you go. They've got new sledgehammers. They've got the iron sledgehammer and the steel sledgehammer. I think we had the steel in the previous one. Oh, sorry, they got stone sledgehammers as well. So that's nice. So you can also improve them on the skull crusher type of thing. The M60, which we've gone over, which is my personal favourite. Knuckle wraps, brass knuckles, and spike knuckles, knuckle dusters. So if you want to get in handsy with the zombies, then you can do with knuckle dusters. Double barrel shotgun, which we've also covered as well. And they've got new explosives. And they have things like whether the grenades will blow up on contact with the zombies, which is nice. You got some time charges for raids. loads of demolitions and stuff like that. I've had to play around with a few things, so it's quite nice. And obviously you've got your normal stuff. I don't think they've taken out any item as far as I'm aware. They've got some new bows. So now you've got a primitive bow and a wooden bow. I've had to play around with them as well. I don't know if I'm carrying mine on me. No new vehicles, I'm afraid. We've still got our standard ones. That's the second level, the wooden bow there. And that's just normal reinforced iron club. I think that's just armour and stuff like that. Scrap the lighting part. That's a big question mark. Have they got rid of them? It looks like they have. Okay, so we got rid of some. We just had an update, so there's a few things disappearing apparently. And they've got new ammunition, so they've got HP ammo, which does more damage than AP ammo, which obviously pierces through enemies. So that's a touch on items, and that's where I'm going to leave it here. I've gone through obviously how to get the game onto Alpha 18 and some of the new stuff that has been put into it. If you haven't already tried it, I suggest trying it. It's a fantastic game. If you haven't played 7 Days to Die at all, then make sure you check out the series that I've got going and get playing it yourself, because it's just a fantastic game. The whole world you can destroy, you can break down everything, you can dig everything, and every 7 days or whatever you set it to, you get the horde come in, and by God, they are a lot harder this time. As I said, I put the settings up to my usual, which is quite high, and I had to drop them back down to default, which is nice. It's nice to have it a little bit harder now. It was too easy prior to Alpha 18. So thank you very much for checking this out, and thank you for those of you who checked out the Alpha 17 guide. There will be an Alpha 18 guide where we'll go into a bit more detail. I know there's a lot of things we missed in the Alpha 17 walkthrough guide, because I was just basically doing it to what I felt was the best way of doing things. However, in the next one, in Alpha 18, we'll go through alternatives and ways you can play the game, and obviously some of the things to avoid in Alpha 18. And obviously once Alpha 18 is released, we'll recap, make sure that nothing has been changed. This is experimental, so things, as you can see, will be removed, replaced, changed, and I will try to keep you updated. Any questions or comments, make sure to leave them down below. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, everybody, take care for now, and I'll see you all in 7 Days to Die.